Well. Welcome back, everybody, to the Brothers-in-law. It's Thursday evening, January 12th, 2023, and you're back with the Brothers-in-law once again. Welcome, and if this is your first time joining us, go ahead and hit that like button down at the bottom and share this out wide and far. If you don't know anything about the Brothers-in-law, we're two former law enforcement police officers. I was a Virginia State Trooper for 7 years, and Mike is a retired police officer out of Pleasanton, California. We did 26 years of service to his city out there in Pleasanton. And we're both prior military. I'm a retired veteran, Navy chief, 21 years, and Mike did 6 years in the United States Army. So we're bringing our knowledge and what we've learned. We talk about police involved incidents that take place throughout the country, whether or not this is something what a reasonable officer would have done in these types of situations, what went right and what went wrong, and we talk about it. And there's a lot of learning points in here and things that as citizens you all may not know, and we're just here to bring awareness to these types of incidents. So bottom line, we all learn how to stay calm. And it's the acronym that we created, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Because at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants to do. The police officers want to go home, and we want the citizens to go home. Nobody should be getting hurt, shot, or killed in any type of interaction with law enforcement. And you may agree with what we say. You may not agree with everything we say. That's all right. It's all right. And that's what it's all about. That's why we want to have these types of conversations, to bring awareness to the communities. And we work together to try to bring an end to this, because everybody has a role to play. We expect the law enforcement to be a certain way, and we expect the citizens to conduct themselves in a certain way. But ultimately, it's the police officers that have the greater responsibility to make sure nobody gets hurt. So welcome, everybody. Again, thank you for joining us. Mike, welcome.
Thanks. Good to be back. Good to be on the show. I see you, Goat. I see you, Tone. Jesus loves you, Stacy, Bernice, Mrs. Taylor. Appreciate you being on the show.
Welcome. So we got a good show lined up tonight. We're talking about a black young lady that was arrested for having a bad attitude. Now, the question really is, did she have a bad attitude? Was it because of her attitude she got arrested, or was it because she was just really trying to do too much in this incident, which resulted in her being arrested basically for obstruction, right? Stopping the police officers from doing their duties. To investigate a case. So Mike,
this is kind of a part two from last show, in a sense, about rolling up on police. That's exactly what this woman did. She rolled up on the scene in the middle of something and started flexing on the officers. Basically, you can't do this, you can't do that, right. And we're gonna get into that because some of this got to do with entering a home without a warrant, things of that nature. So we're gonna have a good discussion, and it's gonna be some good points on this video. And feel free, viewers, to make comments if you want, ask your questions. If you guys know of something different in your state that's different from what we're saying, we'd love to hear it. You know what I mean? And all those things.
Yeah, because that's a good point, Mike, because keep in mind, every state operates differently. All right, what you can do in your state, you can't go to the next adjoining state and try to do the same thing. Right. You have to keep that in mind. It's your responsibility to understand and know the laws. But yeah, we get into it, and that's another thing. If we get into it, when I was thinking of what I should name this show, I was like, man, this really should be a part two from what we did last week. But I was like, no, let's kind of change it up. But in a sense, like Mike was saying, yeah, this is kind of a part two to that, if you will, and why it's important in the heat of the moment to always keep a level head. I always say, even in the military, I always tell the guys, and Goat can attest to this, I would always say, hey, the cool head always prevails. All right. have to learn to keep a cool head. If you don't want to bring attention to yourself, you as a citizen, if you carry on like this, guess what you just did? You got my attention now. Now I'm gonna give you all the attention you want. So it's a lesson learned, and we're gonna get into it right now. We're gonna go ahead and set this up. You want to set it up? You want me to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, this is real interesting because this is quite a common call that I've been on myself when I was an officer. This is in Wisconsin, and the way I understand it is a citizen who owns a backpack has a cell phone inside the backpack, his Apple iPhone, and some important documents inside the backpack. Apparently, his backpack was stolen from location A. He did the typical Find My iPhone app and discovered his backpack and phone was showing at this particular residence, right? Very common call. So what does he do? He calls the police ultimately and says, hey, I got my stuff was stolen. My phone's in my backpack. I pinged my phone to this location using the Find My iPhone app. So police get there and things start to happen from there. And we're going to talk about all of it. But that's essentially what's going on.
All right, and we'll pick it up from right there, Mike.
All right.
Let me go ahead and hit it. Now, this is long, so obviously, we won't go through the whole 24 minutes. We'll hit the high points as usual, get to the bulk of it. But after the show, I'll go ahead and put the link to this video, and you can check it out in its entirety if you choose to. So here we go.
And I see you, Jesus Love. Yeah, it was a tracker. Okay, like one of those iPhone or Apple trackers. Yeah.
22. Police were dispatched to a residence for theft from a motor vehicle in Wausau, Wisconsin. Officers made contact with a male subject outside the house. The male stated his backpack was recently stolen from his vehicle. He tracked his location with Apple Airtag, leading him to the reported residence. He also said the backpack contained several important papers, including military documents and banking information. He told police he knocked on the door, asking the resident about the backpack, but they claimed they didn't know anything about it.
Matthew?
Yes, sir.
Officer Austin, what's going on?
My bag got stolen today. Great documents that I need. They got pinged. This house right here, I knocked on both the doors and they said they don't want anything of it. It was at this house right here. I mean, it's kind of bugged around, but her and I drove here and it's been, I don't know. I mean, I looked in the grass, maybe somebody threw out the window, but I can't find anything. And I tried to ping it and play a sound, and I can't. It's not in the grass. I can't ping it.
Can you just show me the ping again, just kind of where it's...
Usually it's right there, but before it was right over here, so it's kind of been jumping back and forth. I don't know if somebody's moving it around.
Okay. What kind of iPad is it?
It's a backpack.
Oh, backpack?
Yeah, it's like a black military combat bag.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
what's in it that you're tracking?
An AirTag. So I don't know, you know what an AirTag is, right? I don't know if somebody might have thrown out the window. I wouldn't care if they took the shaving cream. I wouldn't care. It's a travel bag. Yeah. So I wouldn't care if they took anything else. But there's a food binder in there. Yeah. It has my banking information, my notes, my military documents. I need that binder. It can.
Okay. I mean, it could very well just be in the garbage. Sounds like somebody answered the door though.
The resident was later identified as 19-year-old Mario Camacho Jr.
Mario? Okay. So you got the backpack here? Or...
I actually don't. I have neighbors, and he told me that he talked to them.
Okay. These neighbors over here?
Or these ones. I don't know. He came to this house.
Oh, yeah. The AirTag is going right here.
What? Okay. At this address, it can be.
That's my bag. I was cleaning my car out, but that's what it is.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I don't know why it would be popping up here. Like I said, the neighbors, anybody else in this area, I'm the only one here. I know what is in this house. And there's definitely no backpack in here.
All right. Just I might come back to chat with you. Just think tight.
They searched the garbage cans outside Mario's house and discovered several empty purses and wallets.
5962. Can you advise were any purses or brown wallets taken from these vehicles. These garbage cans are full of purses and brown wallets.
Pause it right there, Corey.
There's credit cards
Yeah.
here too.
Let's pause it. So, just real quick, folks, and this is for our viewers. Up to this point, you can see the issues that are presenting themselves with this whole call. So you can understand why the owner of the backpack is concerned. He wants his backpack back, and it shows that it's right here. Anybody who got an iPhone who have either used that Find My iPhone app or those Apple trackers, they're pretty close to accurate. They may not be accurate, but they're pretty close. So if you ping something in a location, it's usually right there in that location that you see. He's got bank stuff in there, right, Corey?
Yep.
He's got, I think he said he has ID, military stuff in there.
Military paperwork in there, yeah.
Military paperwork in there. He had things in there that he needed to get back. It was stolen from a truck. Okay. Now, then go ahead, Corey.
I do have a question for our viewers. What do you all think was the police officer's first red flag that something's definitely up here? What was that first red flag for you? Put your patrol hats on. Y'all are fellow troopers here.
Right.
What was your first red flag that there's something going on here that ain't right? What was that?
That's right. I want all you viewers are now patrol officers or troopers, and this is your call. You already seen what we've seen up to this point. So I want y'all to start thinking about, what are you going to do at this point? You have a citizen saying, hey, my stuff was stolen. It's tracked here to this location. Guy says he doesn't have it, but clearly he thinks the guy is lying.
So do you think is that the end of it? Okay, he says, no, it ain't here. Ain't nothing here. Now you got the wrong spot. It is in police now. Is that when it stops? Oh, well, he said ain't nothing here, so I guess we got to go home. It says wrap. Hey, sir, sorry, they're saying it's not here, so I guess you're out of luck.
Stacy, I think Stacy hit something on the head there.
There you go.
You know, the empty purses and wallets in the trash can. I mean, come on. It's clear that there's something, there's some stolen. Any officer who's worked for any length of time is that is a red flag right there that, okay, we ain't just looking for a backpack here. It's more than likely inside this residence, because there's a whole bunch of other purses and wallets right here in a trash can. Common sign that somebody is stealing stuff in there, and they throwing away the stuff that's not of value to them, that clearly they stole from somewhere else. I mean, you can clearly come to that conclusion up to this point.
Yeah, you definitely can come to that conclusion, and that, as keep it rolling here. I don't want to jump the gun here, but yeah, I mean, clearly you're building your case now, right?
Yeah, you're building your case. You now are investigating, right?
Right. Now we hope you all can see now that this is what we call police work. It just doesn't stop just because they told you, oh no, it's not here. Right. Or no, this car ain't stolen. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is police work. This is what we get paid to do, is to further investigate this, because that citizen that's making the complaint deserves an answer, right? They deserve an answer. They want their property back, right? And it's that officer's job to investigate this call for service and determine or not whether that item is at this residence or it's not at this residence. And right now, they just found a piece to this puzzle that gives them more I want to say more concern that something is going on here. And then there's going to be, listen up and see what the second red flag is going to be.
You're building up to that, reasonable suspicion first?
Reasonable suspicion, yeah.
Until you get that probable cause. You know what I'm saying? They building it up. And that's what you do, folks, as an officer. When you start at a basic call like this, you have to look at everything. How can I build up first to reasonable suspicion? Okay. If the reasonable suspicion is established, in my opinion, when the guy says he tracked his stuff here to this location, and we'll get out here in California, that type of deal right there alone by itself is not enough for me to go search a house. But that can add to the equation of building up to reasonable suspicion. So that is number one, he tracked this at his house. Number two, like Stacy said, got empty purses and wallets right here in the garbage can next to this house that appears like it's possibly stolen. All that is going in my report to build and add up. You see what I'm saying? So let's continue, Corey. Unless you got something else.
No, we're good. I'm gonna keep it moving. I don't know why this don't like it.
Garbage. Yeah.
While the officers were outside the house, pulled into the driveway.
As a mother, having health insurance
Sorry
gives
about
me
that.
one less thing
So
to worry about.
this
For
guy,
$0 a month,
I
my
know.
plan covers prescriptions and my mental health services. It really gives me
Oh
the
man,
peace
these
of
things
mind.
drive me nuts, y'all.
Healthcare.gov is here for millions like you.
Hyundai Tucson.
I appreciate
Honda
a
CRV.
lot in the middle of all this.
Hyundai Tucson.
And in a second, we're going to see that.
All right, here we go.
We don't live there. There's no say so in the house.
What's going on? What's going on? I just want to know what's going on because I drove by and I seen y'all searching through my brother's trash can, so I'm just wondering what's going on. Well, someone's got to let me know what's going on.
No, we don't. We don't live there.
Do you live here?
I come here often and I drove by and see you guys searching my brother's garbage can, so I am just wondering what's going on.
Okay,
And
well,
there's cars out
you
here.
You don't live here. You don't need to know right now.
Actually, I do. Mario, what's going on?
10-4. You have enough key runner.
The female was later identified as 22-year-old Chertisha Camacho.
Who are these people?
They're the ones who called us.
Okay, so they don't live here. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
So
Why I just
he
won't
had
pass
a
you guys
bag
and search
stolen.
my brother's
Will you let me
garbage
talk?
can.
Will you let me talk?
I actually been asking y'all to talk since
Okay.
I pulled up here. So
Well-
yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
So he had a bag stolen from his car last night. Had an AirTag in it. AirTag places it somewhere between these two houses. So
You know who lives in the other houses?
we're talking with them right now. We're gonna go next door, but the AirTag showed it right
That's
here.
fine, but don't go searching through my brother's garbage can for
It's public
y'all don't have the
property.
right to do that.
That's
And y'all
public
know
property.
better than that because y'all are police officers.
We
Don't
have
do
to-
no
we
shit
have
without
authority
permission.
to do it. Authority
It's
to
really
search the
no,
garbage.
you don't. Now without my brother's permission, you don't. That's illegal. I can't even search my neighbor's garbage can.
Now, keep in
So I know
mind,
you
they can
can't search
shut
my
her
brother's
down
garbage
right
can.
now.
All right.
She
Don't
don't
do
live
that
in the
without
house.
permission. Thank you.
Okay.
Right.
She don't
yeah,
live in
I'm
the
gonna stop
house.
right there, man. That's a good point.
They don't have to tell her
Go
any,
ahead.
at this point. They could shut her down right now. She don't have a right to that house. She doesn't have any say so to that house. The owner of that house and the legal occupant of that house has been contacted, is an adult, okay, and they're dealing with that. This woman comes after the fact. We don't know who she is. We don't know if she lived there or not. She clearly didn't. Okay, she said
Boy,
she
she,
her
she,
brother's
she
house.
couldn't determine the fact that she lived there or not. Well, I do come here, but no, no, you don't live here. No, you don't need to know what's going on. Now you
No.
can stay here, but you're gonna stay out of the way, and you're not gonna interrupt us. That's what I would have said if she rode up on my scene.
Yeah.
My mom says, aren't they supposed to have a search warrant to search the house or property? And that's what we're going to get to here.
We're going to get to that, but we ain't there yet.
We're not there yet. But however, let's stick to outside.
Yeah,
right?
we
What
still
we got
outside. Ain't no warrants needed for outside at all.
For outside. And the going through the trash is not illegal, especially when they're doing investigation. It's common for it to look in it because What if there was a, you got to looking through a trash can if you're looking for a murder or suspected murder weapon. You got to do your searching. You're searching outside. It's outside in public view. So it's not inside. And besides, those trash cans are property of the city.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's a city trash can.
Those are not. That's right. That's right. And also, folks, let's not forget the whole point of this. Up to this point, is there's a thief amongst us because they got stolen property right here that was pinged to this house, and you got possibly stolen property in the trash can. Okay, so let's not lose focus of that. We got a citizen here who had their stuff stolen, came back to this residence, and we're trying to solve that crime. That's what we're trying to solve. Okay, so we don't want to make it hard and difficult for officers to do that. We want to make it easier for them to do that so that they can get your stuff back. That's what it's all about.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely about getting those belongings back. Now, does the acronym call and play a role in here? Actually, she kind of threw that one way out the window when she came out and just started running off with the mouth. This is why you don't do it. I understand you're getting to the heat of the moment. But however, like I said earlier when we were starting off the show, cool heads always prevail, right? You by running your mouth like that, you may implement yourself in this. And like I said, you keep running your mouth like that. Now you got my attention. Now I'm let me see some ID. Let me see it. Now I want to check. You got my attention. You wouldn't keep your mouth shut. You wouldn't stay out of the way like we tried to tell you. Right? Now you got my attention. Right? Don't do that. Don't do that. If the officers are wrong, you do, like we said last week, this is your best weapon right here, your cell phone. You video record the heck out of that scene while you're there, and you just keep your mouth shut. You don't have to say anything, and let it all come out and play out in court if you feel like something's wrong. When she does that, again, that's another red flag, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Why are you fighting so hard? You don't even know what's going on.
Because now, with her coming on the scene, Corey, if I'm the officer there, now my attention is now divided. Because now I have to worry about what she is doing and the role that she plays. Maybe, look, as far as we know, maybe she stole a backpack from the truck and came back to her brother's house and dumped everything there. Maybe she's the thief. We don't know that. But she sure is asking doing a lot of demands and stuff. She don't she don't live at the house. She don't have a right really to get involved and say what we should and shouldn't do because she's not in control of the house. Okay. And I agree with you. Jesus love you. They should have told her to leave or get arrested or put her in a handcuff and put her in a patrol car. She didn't calm down. She cannot add to what I'm trying to investigate. It's almost like one would say she's trying to divert my attention away from what I should be paying attention to.
Right. And then you have to ask the question, well, why is she doing that?
Right.
Does she know more than what?
Does she know something is in there? Does she know that there's stolen property in there? So she is trying to interject herself and try to, tell us you can't do this or you can't do that or you don't have permission to do that. You can't give me permission to do that, lady. You don't live here.
Right.
Okay.
You have no authorization here. You don't have no skin in this game here. And I agree with you. I would have detained her for sure. I wouldn't place her on arrest yet. I'd give her opportunity to calm her hind parts down. And then when I'm done with the investigation, then I'll continue to talk to her and maybe cut her loose after that. But yeah, definitely put handcuffs on her right away and not arrest, detain, administrative detention. Because now I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here now. Because you may be involved. You may be involved. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we don't know. This is what we got to find out, right? This is why you don't say nothing.
Matter of fact, now that you've interjected yourself, I need to identify who you are at this point because I'm investigating the theft. You seem very persistent in involving your presence in my investigation. Well, if that's the case, I need to ask you some questions. First of all, what's your name, date of birth, so I can get you down so I can communicate with you. If you're so worried about me doing something wrong, I want to make sure I got your name and so that you can be included in this investigation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right, we're gonna keep it moving.
So what are we doing right now?
Yeah.
Due to the AirTag ping location and marijuana odor coming from the house, officers found it reasonable to make entry and make sure there were no other residents.
We missed that part.
Right,
Marijuana, that's
Mario.
the key part.
Yeah.
Just you? All right, I'm gonna have you step out.
Are you?
Have a seat for me. I'm gonna be securing the residence because the residence smells like weed. We're gonna be applying for a search warrant. Is there anybody else
Let's
home?
pause that for a minute there, Corey. That's
Okay,
a good
have a seat.
Go ahead, Mike.
I think we missed that part in the video. In addition to what they found after they found the wallets and stuff in the trash can, okay, now they smell of marijuana, odor of marijuana, what they identify as marijuana coming from the house. Okay, now Wisconsin, folks, this is Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, marijuana is still illegal, very much illegal. You know what I'm saying? So different rules apply about marijuana in Wisconsin than states where marijuana is legal. In California, back in the day, you could go in and search someone's house or based on the smell of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Now, technically speaking, you could do that. You can't do that anymore. Not very many cops do that anymore because marijuana is legal in California or wherever marijuana is legal. You ain't gonna have officers searching a house strictly based on the smell of marijuana because you can have it. But in this case, it is illegal. You know what I'm saying? And they use that to establish entering into that home. They think this kid is lying. They believe this backpack is likely in this house, and they use that in addition to what they already found to write a search warrant. They're going to do that and get it and search this home. Now, you might ask, for our viewers who don't know, you might ask, well, why are they entering the home before they have a search warrant? Well, when you have the smell of marijuana coming from the house, and that is your basis for writing a search warrant to go into the house, okay, you at least can go into the house and secure the area of the home before you are actually searching the home, okay? In this case, there's the difference. They've made up their mind that they're going to obtain a warrant to search this home unless this guy gives them consent, okay? But at this point, they don't know that. So they're going to they're going to get a search warrant. That's what they're going to do. But first, he's going to go into this home and secure it. Number one, make sure there's no one else in the home that can destroy the possibility of marijuana, of what I'm smelling inside. Okay. Make sure there's no one in the home that can be a physical threat to me while I come into the home. I want to secure everybody in the home and then freeze the scene. Do nothing else. Just get everybody that's in that house in one location so that I can control the scene. And I'm not searching because I don't have a search warrant, but I can go in and freeze the scene until I get a search warrant. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, this is in a state where marijuana is illegal. Let me
still illegal. That's right.
Right. Put emphasis on that. Okay. This ain't gonna fly in California if you just using the smell of marijuana to get a search warrant. And you ain't gonna get no search warrant just on the odor alone with nothing else to add to that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same here. I mean, because you can't even do it for a vehicle anymore. It used to be, same thing when you had your vehicles. You could smell the smell of marijuana coming out the vehicle. That was your probable cause to search vehicle. Yeah. Same thing. It just ain't gonna happen now because it's legal. You can smoke it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, unless when you talk about a car, which you will see in this vehicle, in this video later. I don't know if you're gonna show that or not, Corey, but a car is searched based on the smell of marijuana coming from the car. But yeah, in California, it was that way too when marijuana was illegal.
Illegal.
You could search a car based
Big
on the smell of marijuana alone. That car is mine.
So my question is to our viewers: do you think up to this point the officers are acting as reasonable officers, or do you think they're maybe stepping over their boundaries in some way so far? And if you feel that they're overstepping their boundaries, I'm curious to know what boundaries do you think they're overstepping and why? I like to hear from our viewers because at this point, I believe they're being reasonable. They're not doing anything at this point that I myself would not have done. And like I said, in the beginning, I'd like to think that, Mike and I are two reasonable officers, former officers, that one, we're respecting everybody's, I guess you could say, right. Everybody's rights, nobody's rights are being violated. And they're doing it right. I mean, she's still running off the mouth, but you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, all right, lady, where did you what academy did you go to, and where did you get your law degree from to be able to stand here and tell me what I can and can't do?
Hey, look,
22 years old, what do you know?
Even if she did think she knew something, I'm going to go off of my knowledge on what I believe. Okay. Now, keep in mind, folks, and we said this last show, Corey. Remember, I'm not going to illegally enter or search this home knowingly, because I know that if I illegally search this home without a warrant, then everything that I find is going to get thrown out. My whole case is gone. Cops know that. We're not going to illegally go into a home. Our whole purpose is to get this man's backpack. And if we do smell marijuana, we're going to get all that too. You see what I'm saying?
All that. And if you happen to come across anything else,
I'm not going to do that illegally, because when it comes to court, if I can't establish that I entered this home legally, okay, everything else is going to get thrown out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's a waste of time. Waste of my time as an officer. And not only that, not only waste of time as an officer, if you have a pattern of illegally doing stuff like this, you're going to develop a reputation throughout the courts that, okay, this officer has done this too many times, so we're not going to trust what he says next time. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to develop a reputation like that, number one. And number two, you ain't going to knowingly do stuff like that illegally when you know it's going to get thrown out anyway.
Good question, Tone. Tone says, even though they're securing the house, how long does it take to obtain a search warrant? And Mike and I just had this discussion before the show started. It's going to vary on that locality. For example, for us, we still did everything the old school way, right? I had to go back to the office or had call back to the office and had somebody write it. But it's more so let me do it. I probably would have somebody stay here, secure the house. I would have to run back to do it because I'm primary. Write the warrant, take it to the magistrate, and have the warrant sworn out and signed by the magistrate, and then bring it back to the scene. Mike's case, Mike, you want to say how y'all used to do it?
Yeah, we used to do it that way back in the day, Tone. The old school way where, you'd have to freeze the scene. Someone would have to go back to the station and write up a warrant, type of warrant on a computer. They'd have to go and walk that warrant through the court system and get it approved and signed by a judge, and then come back to the scene and do it that way. It's been streamlined since then. Now, Tone, it's not that long. We could do everything from the computers in the patrol car. You can write a warrant up in the computer on the patrol car. I'm going to just give it to you essentially what you're doing. In the patrol car on scene, no one's got to leave and go back to the station. Then you send that warrant off directly to a judge, okay? A judge reads it, reviews it, approves it, okay, and sends it back to you right there in the patrol car, almost kind of like through email, you could say, all right? And it's approved right there. And some cars can actually print it out right there. Some cops can actually have it on their duty patrol cell phone and see it on their cell phone, because you got to leave a copy of it at the house. You know what I'm saying? When you leave, a copy of the warrant. But it's pretty quick nowadays. It's not like it used to be in the old days. Now, some agencies might still have to do it old school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I said up to the point when I left a couple of years back, that's the way we were still doing it. So, but it's going to vary. Point being, Tony, it's going to vary from city to city, state to state on how it's done. But ultimately, you still want to, because you don't want to leave and say, okay, hey, we're coming back. We're going to come back with a search warrant. Now, what do you just do? You allow them that opportunity to get rid of everything that's all the evidence in the house. By the time you come back, everything is gone. So again, we need to preserve that scene so nobody goes in and out, tamper with anything. So we get the search warrant and come back and search the house.
And no one's in that house that we don't know that is able to destroy any evidence in that house. So falls under the what they call exigent circumstances. It all falls under that umbrella, if you will. You know, so that's why they entered the house and didn't have the warrant at that moment. But if they entered the house and do what is called a cursory search for those points I said, look to make sure nobody else is in the house or nothing like that. And then they do the warrant. Okay. And you're just freezing the scene. You're not searching. At that point, you're just freezing the scene to make it safe. And then you're going to search after you get that search warrant. Okay.
Yeah. You're searching and then whatever. So that's legit. Very good question, Tom. Very good question.
Now, let's catch up with the video. Up to this point, it looks like these officers have smelled the marijuana coming from the house. They've decided to use that as a way of getting into the house. They're going to exit this person out, as you see them doing, and they're going to enter this house and make it safe, okay, before they start searching. Okay.
Right.
See from me right now. We'll talk about that later.
Hey, Tisha. Police department. Make yourself known if you're in here. Do it now.
Hey, they said they smell weed. Y'all don't smell no weed, so y'all can
Stay
get
out here.
Stay out.
Stay
I don't
out.
smell weed.
Stay
My brother
out.
don't smoke weed.
Stay
Did
out.
y'all check the neighbor's house if y'all smell weed?
Stay out.
No, sir. Y'all don't have the right to do that. There's no scent of weed in this house. Do y'all want to come and smell? Do y'all want to come and smell?
We're recording right now.
Does someone else want to come and smell? My brother don't smoke weed, so it don't smell like weed in here.
Stay out.
Get out of my brother's house before I call a motherfucking lawyer. Sir, don't grab
She needs to be handcuffed and put in the back of the patrol car with the quickness because she's doing too much. You know, she's creating an unsafe and unsure environment. I don't know what she's going to do.
Stay out of the house now. Go back in the car.
Get back in the car.
And now you got somebody else coming up. You know what I'm saying?
They just doing this like go search it.
See that's why you can't get amped up like this, because now you get two additional people rolling up on scene. And it's two officers and three citizens right there. Now we're outnumbered. This is what you don't want to happen. You don't want that scene to get out of control like this. When she made that move up there, they did exactly what I would have done. As soon as you come up in there and start trying to bark orders and telling me no, and they went as far as the threshold right there. So they really didn't go inside and do it. Just, hey, we're make yourself known. Is anybody in here? Make yourself known. This is our state police. Make yourself known. All right. Just like Mike said a few minutes ago, to try to establish, make sure there's nobody else in there, because you don't want evidence to be destroyed. You don't want somebody to come out and ambush you. All right. So that what they did right there is okay. You didn't search anything. You just, like Mike said, you want to make the scene safe, right? She come up there rolling like that. Don't worry. Turn around. We're not even. There's no more talking. You're done. I'm detaining you at this point, and I'm gonna put you in a car and let you sit and cool down. But now you drag this other young man into this situation. Lucky enough for him, as you'll see, he had sense enough to carry his hind parts back to the car, right? Oh yeah, they say they smell weed. Hey, The brother was cool. I think he knew
the person who legally lives at the house, he was compliant.
Yeah,
he was compliant the whole time.
Yeah, I think he knew. You know what? We're probably gonna get caught. But she was doing, because I think she probably was the ringleader in all this. Because you're doing too much. You're doing way too much for this not even to be your house, and you so-called not involved in anything, but you're doing way too much. Why?
And again, what do you do? What do we recommend you do if you're so concerned about that? You should be. I'm not saying folks shouldn't be concerned if they believe officers are doing something wrong. But the way to handle that is you stand on that sidewalk, get your cell phone out, and you start recording. You don't have to get all crazy and try to impede yourself in their investigation. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to interject yourself and try to do something. They ain't going to stop what they're doing because you're yelling. Okay, understand that. You yelling is just adding commotion and craziness to the situation that now an officer sees. I gotta extract this craziness from the situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to lose control. We need to remove her from this situation for now.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I sort of feel now, in lieu of everything that's been going on over the last several years, it's more now people, they want, instead of just, they feel like they have to take action now to disrupt what the law enforcement do, because, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you shouldn't be doing this, you should, and they're implicating themselves more and more with law enforcement and escalating the situation, because you're going to escalate that officer. The officer is going to escalate his threat level as well. When you're coming in, you're not listening, you're trying to be combative, they're trying to get a scene secure, and I almost feel like it's like they're being edged on by media that they need. You see something, you see a police doing something wrong, you get in there and you get in their face, you stop. No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because
you stand from a safe distance, you whip out your cell phone, you start recording. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying?
You record. Like I say, you be the best witness. That's what you do. You be the best witness, because you come in there like here at this point right now, they did right. They put her in handcuffs and she's detained right now. Because now you keep running the mouth and keep interfering with the investigation. Now I'm gonna place you on arrest for obstructing. You're obstructing me from doing my performance of my duties. You can't do that. That's not what you're supposed to do. If you feel it's unjust or whatever, you do your part and video record it. Keep your mouth shut. Don't bring any attention to yourself. And go get you a lawyer that will probably do this for pro bono if you feel that there's injustice here. But I would be on pins and needles now, because it's like, look, just get back. Don't try to be a superhero yourself and try to
get involved and
get involved. Right.
Something from
Right.
If you don't think they should search, well, that's fine. Again, officers got to write their reports and do their investigations and submit their report to the district attorney's office. And if found out that they entered a house illegally, it's going to come back. Everything after that goes out the window. Insubmissible. Not admissible in court.
I'm with you, Delando. It's definitely getting worse, sir, if you will, out there. And we can't do this. Yeah, there's officers are human beings too. They're gonna make mistakes. But what they're training and they continue training, we should be minimizing these mistakes. But they're humans, they're gonna make a mistake too. Don't you get in there and try to fix things, or you come in there and try to bark orders and try to tell somebody what's right, what's wrong, what they're doing ain't right, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. You get yourself in handcuffs, just like this young lady for having. Now, what if she was cordial, Mike? What if she was a little more cordial?
As long as she wasn't trying to interfere, I wouldn't have a problem with her. I would say, hey, you could, if she was real calm, cool, and collected, you could sit here on the steps with your brother. You know what I'm saying? He's complying. As long as you're doing what he's doing, okay. You know what I'm saying? And I would explain to her, listen, man, you don't live here, so therefore you don't have a say-so in what happens as far as what we decide we're going to do in this house. Now, if you have some information for us that we need to know about something in this house that doesn't need to be there or something like that, feel free to tell us. And I don't have any problems explaining to a citizen why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm entering your house because I smell what I believe to be marijuana. And I'm entering your house to freeze the scene and secure the scene. I'm not searching. I'm just freezing the scene to secure the scene. And then I'm going to obtain a search warrant and search the house. Okay. And I don't have a problem explaining that to her if she was calm, cool, and collected, compliant, and did everything, that I felt that she was not actually interrupting my investigation or impeding or trying to physically stop me from doing my investigation, I wouldn't have a problem with her.
Yeah. Tone says, to your question, after watching the George Floyd murder and everyone standing around watching is what bringing this on. I would agree to that to some point. But at the same time, in that situation, that's when I would say the officers, again, they were young and training. But as we were always taught in the academy, when you see an officer doing something wrong, it is your responsibility as a fellow officer to pull that officer alongside, say, hey, man, hey, I think Sarge wants you on the radio. Hey, you get up. I got it from here. And go handle it. So it was the lack of oversight on those other officers, even though they were trained.
There you go. I agree with that.
In our academy, you were taught to, hey, we look out for each other. You see an officer doing something stupid, because it was all our credibility on the line. Hey, I know I have done that, Tom. Seen an officer do something that I didn't agree with. Hey, man, I got it from here. I think Sarge wants you on the radio. And I took over.
Now, that's physical. That's physical stuff, though, Tone. I mean, that's a little different than this situation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree.
But to his point, though, but to Tone's point, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because he's answering my question.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So, but in this situation, I think, she was just trying to cover. She was trying to disrupt the investigation. So hoping to think that there was, oh shoot, well maybe we can't do this. It's second guess themselves, if you will, to not go inside the house, because she knew what was in there.
And I've been in situations where, we're doing something, during investigation, whether it's a search, whether it's a warrant, whatever it may be, right? Some kind of investigation, and sometimes. I might pull the other officer and we'll have a discussion about what's going on in front of us and what we can and cannot do and what we should and should not do. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes that can happen as officers, like in this situation. If they were searching or entering this house illegally, right? And I was the officer and I believe they were entering this house illegally, I would pull my partner aside and away from the others and say, listen, what you think it is. I'm not sure if we should be entering this house this way. You need these circumstances to enter a house, A, B, C, or D. We got A, B, but we don't have C or D. We'll have a discussion about it. You know what I'm saying? And in my department, that was common for officers to do that. We didn't have such big egos where we felt offended because another officer said, hey, I don't think you could do that, and this is why. And they'll lay it out why. And sometimes you'll say, oh yeah, you know what? Thanks for that. I appreciate that. So we're gonna go another route and do it this way. Very common.
Very common. Very common. All right, we're gonna go ahead and push through this.
All right,
it's almost over.
Have a seat.
Have a seat. Y'all don't have the right to search this house.
Have a seat.
I will.
All right, y'all.
Hey, man. Y'all don't gotta grab me up like that. Y'all do not have the right, Mario. Tell them that they don't have the right.
Back to the car.
You notice the one who lives there, he ain't even tough.
Tell them right now.
He's standing there calm, cool, and collected. That's why he ain't
Tell them that, Mario. Tell them that. Tell them they do not have the right to go into your house without a search warrant. Mario, if they had the right, they would already be searching it.
She would be removed and put in the patrol car. She wouldn't even be there right now.
Listen. Shut up and listen, boy.
He didn't say search.
Shut up.
No, it's not a search.
Tell them they do not have the right to search the house without a search warrant. And they need to wait.
We are not searching the house.
Well, you guys were just in there without his permission after we told you not to be in there. Stop breaking my laws and this will be a lot simpler. If y'all leave, this will be solved way simpler without y'all here. Y'all searching shit y'all
don't behave this way, folks. Don't behave that way.
That's what we're trying to do. But right now,
go check the bathroom.
Y'all see they're trying to take advantage of somebody that don't even know how to move. Get the point they
but right now we're waiting on another officer because things are kicking off way too much, man.
You not know what y'all really is talking about.
Y'all doing too much. Mario, just sit down. Sit down. Because I'm not trying to get them to think that you and Justin are sitting here in handcuffs because I told them their job. These motherfuckers know the law. They know better. I shouldn't have to tell them that. And then they put me in handcuffs because I told them right from motherfuckers. Like I shouldn't even have to say that to y'all.
Listen, you got it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's a ratchet behavior.
No, what they said was
that's all I really need to know right now.
Look, she might know it's a bunch of stuff.
Mario, we don't even gotta say nothing else. As long as you know, step out of Mario. Tell me to step out of your house.
Look at no, I'm watching.
They are having
Mario. They don't have the right.
Can you put her in your
Mario.
Yep.
Mario, because you see they try to take me to jail because Mario, they can't get into your house. The only reason they're in there is because you told them to go in the bathroom. I swear to God, Mario, if you tell them to get out the house, they can't.
After a brief search of the home, an officer discovered the stolen backpack in the bathroom.
What are you doing?
Stop resisting. Stop. Stop. What's in the bathroom?
So what's in the bathroom?
He's trying to stop me.
Resisting. Stay back.
I'm just recording.
Stay back.
I'm about to
Get back.
Dude, I'm just yelling, dude. I'm just yelling.
I'm just up here.
If you're going to interfere with an investigation, you're
I'm
not
not
going to
interfering.
identify
That's the
yourself.
thing. I'm just
Yes, you
recording.
are.
I'm
You're detracting
recording.
from our ability to conduct this
No,
investigation.
he has mental problems. I'm trying to let y'all know.
Now is the time where you're under
now
arrest.
you got mental
That's
problems.
fine, but under
Yeah.
He was the most vocal one out of that. Never said anything about mental problems. She never said anything about mental problems, and she the most vocal one. Now this dude is just throwing stuff out there, I think. If you notice, folks, I want you to see this real clearly. The homeowner, which is the one who lied and said wasn't nothing in there when it was in there, he is being cool, calm, and collected. He is following that CALM acronym to a T. And he's the suspect. He's the suspect.
Yeah.
You see, he ain't even handcuffed. Matter of fact, they ain't even tell that dude to sit down on the seat. He's standing up there, nice, calm, cool, collected, no cuff. You know why? Because he's following that CALM acronym. Okay. Now, if it were me, Corey, I might have cuffed him and set him down on the seat. But hey, these officers didn't do that because they didn't feel the need to do that because he was following that CALM acronym. He was acting cool, calm, and collected. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The one who ended up being handcuffed first was the woman who was talking sideways.
The sister.
Right.
And he ended up telling them where it was.
Yeah. During their cursory search of the house, they could see it's right here in the bathroom. So they already knew. Plain view right there. There's the backpack that was stolen right there in the bathroom.
Right.
You're gonna see folks how they handle that when they come back out. They try to talk to him and say, hey, we obviously found the bag. and we can go either the search warrant route, or you can give us consent to go in there. You're gonna see that on the video.
We can go ahead and finish it up.
Resisting. That's what you're under arrest for.
Because I'm not moving. I'm just talking. So I'm just asking you, what else?
I asked you to come over to the car.
What am I being arrested for? Why am I in handcuffs? Any one of y'all gonna tell me that?
Protect your motherfucking city. That's it, man. I'm finna get in the car, bro. Please leave me alone, bro. Real fucking talk. Get away from me, bro. Why did you get by me?
Don't say get away from me. You came interjecting yourself into this situation.
He was doing way too much his doggone self. You run your mouth. You're wanting my attention. That's what you're telling me. When I tell I should only have to tell you once. Leave. Get back. But yet you still, all I'm doing is videotape. Fine, do it over there. You don't have to come any closer. I'm sure you have an iPhone, so you have a really good camera on there. You can stay away from me and not get close to me, because I don't know why you need to get so close to me.
Why you even need to be on the property at that point? This is now a police scene. We can secure this property, okay? And you don't even need to be here. You go on the sidewalk or across the street and start recording if you want to record until your heart's content.
Now, he was doing a lot of chatter, but at least he did. I'm glad he got back in the car, because, like, dude, you're going to go with her if you don't get back in that car. You obstructing. I told you to get away. Like you said, Mike, that is now a crime scene.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't have any reason to be within that scene, the premises of that scene. You need to go somewhere else. Sit in that car until we clear it, and then you can leave, or you can just walk away. I don't know if she was a passenger in the car, or that was her car or not. But I think he got in the driver's seat. So hey, you sit tight, and we're gonna let you go, and you get out here. But I don't need nothing from you. Now you running your mouth like that. Well, hey, I need to know who I'm talking to.
That's right. You could be involved in this too if you all up in here. So now, I might have to look at you now in a different way than just the one who drove your sister up to the house. You see what I'm saying? Now I might have to look at you a little bit more. Maybe you are involved. Maybe all of them are some ring of criminals, some ring of thieves, okay, that go around stealing stuff from people's cars. They all three might be involved. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got several purses and stuff in the trash can. We know that's very common, that thieves like that travel in packs, okay? They usually go and steal a whole bunch of stuff at one time, hit several cars and several different lots, okay? And all came back to the brother's house and dumped all their stuff. You know what I'm saying? For all we know, the sister and this other dude could be just as involved as the homeowner, or the one who's staying at the home.
Yeah. So eventually she gets arrested. They both end up getting arrested. He gets hit with the felony charge. I think he gets like a $1,000 bond, and she ended up getting additional charges, felony batteries. I think later on in the video, I think she assaults one of the officers. So she ends up getting a $5,000 signature bond. Basically, she just signs her name and goes, but she has that $5,000 hanging over her head if she doesn't show up to court. They both were arrested and gone to jail, but she didn't have to get arrested if she would have just kept her mouth shut. So
again, the guy who was the suspect, the first initial suspect, he was uncuffed and stood there freely the whole time because he was calm, cool, and collected.
The whole time. I mean, that, like you said, Mike, that was definitely a perfect example of the acronym CALM: comply and answer questions, listen, and move on. And his move on,
even though he lied, he was still calm.
Even though he lied, yeah. I mean,
he didn't escalate anything to a physical level.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about.
And
folks, we can argue rights all day in court, as long as you alive, long as you ain't hurt, long as you ain't injured. That's the whole point. We can argue whether these cops had a right to enter this house or not, whether these cops did this right or did that right. We can argue that all day in court.
All day.
Okay? All day. But you ain't hurt, you ain't injured, you ain't dead. You are alive to have your day in court and explain why you believe these officers entered this house illegal. Or better yet, you'll have the attorney that's representing you tell you whether or not these officers entered your house legally or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Have your day in court. The bottom line, as we always say in our videos, have your day in court. The right way. Don't add to what's already playing out. It was a great video, great talking points, and there's a lot of lessons learned in this, and a lot of red flags. So drop us a comment down below if you like the content of this video. If it's your first time checking us out, let us know what you think. All our other troopers and patrol officers out there, go ahead and smash that like button over on Facebook side. Actually, hit the heart on the Facebook side and hit the like button on the YouTube side. So that keeps us in the algorithm. And the more likes we get, the more our videos get shared out on other people's feeds. So we thank you guys for watching us tonight. Again, if you want to watch this video in the entirety, I'll put the link in the description down below. If you have a video that you'd like us to check out and break down and shed light on, please, all means, hit us up on Facebook, Brothas-in-law 21, and we'll get it on the show. So, Mike, any last words?
No, I appreciate everybody joining us. Tone, I appreciate your comments. Stacy, Carol, Jesus loves you. I appreciate all the comments. We like those comments and questions. Delando, glad you made it on the show, man. And anybody, I'm the GOAT. I see you. So we see all you guys, even though we may not comment on anything that you might say right at that moment. We do see you as you join on here and keep track of everybody. So I appreciate that. And I thought it was a good show too, Corey. I thought we had some good points in that, and just keep in mind, calm. You know what I'm saying? And that officer, he entered the house without a warrant initially, but he didn't search until he would have had a warrant. I think ultimately in that vehicle, I think that guy gave him consent. Because once you found the backpack, well, okay, I see the backpack right here, dude. I'm saying, right. So he eventually, ultimately, they had consent to go ahead and search, which is what they did. But the bottom line, they got that dude's backpack back. They got his backpack. I don't know if they got all the contents, but they got his backpack back. And that's what it's really all about, folks.
That good police work.
Yeah.
Right. Now we hope you all see why you don't just say, okay, hey, they say it's not here, so I guess you're just out of luck there, sir. He said it's not in here. The neighbor's not home, so we can't check their house. So I guess you're out of luck. And unfortunately, that's what police work is all about.
Yeah. And unfortunately, these dudes had fortunately for them, they had some extra details that allowed them to stay and investigate further. But out here in California, if sometimes when we get those calls, Corey, we get those find my iPhone calls. Hey, my phone is pinging at this house. If that's all we got and all we have to go on, we'll go up and make an attempt to make contact at the house and try to talk our way into that house.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, if that person refuses for us to enter, and that's all we have is your phone is pinging at this situation, we ain't gonna force our way into that house, and we more than likely ain't gonna get a warrant approved if that's all you got. You know what I'm saying?
If that's all you got, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough case law out yet that governs that talks about that those apps for iPhone and stuff. How much is that going to be probable cause to enter someone's house? I don't think there's a lot of case law about it yet.
Not yet.
So we'll see what happens on that. But thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah, thank you guys. As always, we love you. Have a blessed and safe weekend, and we will see y'all next Thursday at 8:10. Peace.